Today I'm going to show you guys how I build a block of garden beds, much like that, from scratch. All right, if you're new here, my name is Curtis and we're living off grid, 40 acres. We produce all of our own solar, all of our own electricity. We're trying to grow all of our own food. We currently have a place to live, and we have a water source that is seemingly unlimited in the mountain that we control. I post all my daily vlog videos up at a site called fromthefield.tv. Check it out if you're interested. And today I've got a block of soil here. I'm gonna turn it into some beds. Let me first explain what we started with here. So we're standing on a big constructed terrace. It's about 1/5 of an acre total. It comes along here, it goes down a bit, and then it connects with this greenhouse area, and there are some beds on the end of that area. But I've been basically working on this terrace for months now. It was originally shaped last spring, and then it was refined and shaped better this spring, and then started to actually construct beds. So what I'm going to show you guys is how I'm building a bed right on raw ground. This context could be used in urban farming. It could be used anywhere. It's basically, how do I build up that from nothing? So first thing I had to do was I had to work the ground, scrape it nice and level. And then from there, I've used my skid steer to bring in material. This is subsoil that I screen, and I've mined and screened on my own property here. I've just taken it from an area where it's more of a natural water draw, and soil has just collected there for many years. It wasn't a pond, but it was just like a sort of a draw. Needless to say, I've been able to harvest hundreds of yards of soil from there. It's absolutely incredible. And so this is what I've got. So this is screened subsoil. On top of this, we're going to put a screened topsoil, and I harvest topsoil from the same area in the new area. It's kind of the top 6 inches you get. You pull that, you put it aside, and then you scrape down to the subsoil. So I've got both of those ready. So what we're going to do here is we got our block. We're going to use some measuring equipment to get it exact, and then we're going to mark off with strings and stakes where everything is going to be. The equipment I'm using for this is I've got a rake, just a standard garden rake. I've got a particular kind of shovel, which is a flat shovel, and that way I can scrape flat and then get more of an exact amount of soil, and I can shape the ground a bit better with it. And then I've got my measuring and staking equipment, string, measuring tape, hammer to hammer in my stakes. And I use these concrete stakes. They're pins, concrete pins, I think they call them. I have a ton of them because we do a lot of concrete up here on the homestead. And I find them particularly useful on garden beds. Here's an example. I like to put stakes on every single corner. And if my beds change their dimensions a bit, then I'll put a stake at every dimension where it changes. The idea with this is it gives me a place I can always mark to, so that I can get a nice even row the whole way. It makes the beds consistent. Also, the advantage is if you're running hoses and things like that around here, you've always got these corner posts that protect things. So once these go in, they'll stay here. And I'm going to put more in where the beds go, but those will be gone, because as long as we have this measurement, we can figure everything else out. You can always run a tape from one to the other and repin your beds and reshape them in the following season. So we're going to start here, and we're going to start marking things out, and we'll go from there. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill these pathways with wood chips, mulch, bark mulch to be exact, and pack it thick. And then what that's going to do is a number of things. One, it's a long-term thing for weed suppression. it's also soil building because it's going to create a nice channel of air between there that will actually compost when it's wet too. It'll also constantly be breaking down. So it increases sort of microbiology, creates a place where other types of organisms can exist. And but a really great thing it's going to do in the short term, it's going to stabilize this area because I've created this, an unsustainable amount of edge that will collapse on itself if just slightly touched. And so I'm going to fill that void. That's going to stabilize it so that when I come in with my topsoil, that it can sit on top and this won't continuously cave down. And we'll fertilize in between there. So after I rake, mulch, I'll fertilize, then we'll finish with topsoil. Got my fertilizer down. The fertilizer I used was a product which is a composted turkey manure. It's called Sustain. It's an 824. And then I put down another product which is an all-purpose 444 that also has minerals and stuff like that. It's called Gaia Green. And now we're gonna put the mulch in the beds. It's pretty dusty down here at the moment, but this is where I've been mining my own soil. So, you probably don't have your own place to mine soil and machines to use. So in my context before, I would just be bringing in compost. I would have started with some kind of soil base and then I'd bring in compost. I wouldn't have to go and screen topsoil, but this is how I am doing it. This stuff here is kind of my subsoil. You can see it's beneath in a forest floor. You've got a humus layer that's kind of in the top 6 inches, and then you've got your subsoil beneath. And this is a really nice mix of clay and sand. I would say it's actually a perfect soil. It just doesn't have that many organics in it. It does have a lot of minerals, that's for sure. And then here's my topsoil, which would be the top of all the stuff that you're seeing around me. So we do 2 separate piles. This I have yet to scrape topsoil from. So I'll be able to scrape all this topsoil and probably take this down another foot, which will probably be another 50 to 100 yards of soil, I would guess. I've got hundreds out so far from all of this, which is basically just a little area. It's, I've got some deciduous trees down here. It's some kind of water draw, though it's not a pond. My pond is actually further down there, but yeah, so it's an area that soil's been collecting in for years, which is so nice because on this property, I don't have any soil in the places I want to grow. Where the places where the sun shines, there's just not a lot of soil. So we're changing that. All right, those beds are finished. Now, there's a number of steps I'll take even before I plant these beds, but stay tuned in some other videos and we'll trace the steps of these beds and what happens all the way up to getting a crop in the ground. If you guys liked that video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share the videos with your friends. I'll see you in the next one.